signing day in late December. Early Christmas presents for BYU football. I'm Spencer Linton alongside Jarom Jordan. Speaking of gifts, the head football coach, Kalani Sitake.
The gift that keeps on giving.
He is the gift that keeps on giving.
He's the jelly of the month. What's up?
Thank you, guys. That was a great introduction.
Welcome to the show. This day is always fun and full of energy, naturally, for what the program experiences with this insurgence of new talent. So as you look at this specific class, Coach, as you approach year 2 of the Big 12, what do you like about this class that makes it unique from other years that you have recruited?
Well, I like the battles that we got into in recruiting, and I think sometimes it's easy to take the low-hanging fruit. We get that, but we had to fight for pretty much everybody on that list, and I think recruiting, people know that we get on guys pretty early, and so we've had to recruit a lot of these young men for years, and in the last little bit, it's been a lot of fun being able to meet with them and their families and have them, just be open and transparent with what they want to decide and what are the factors in their making their decision. And it was really good for us to be all involved in that. And I appreciate all our coaches and our support staff, everybody involved in recruiting. The official visits were awesome as always. And so having the faculty and staff and the fans be involved was our retention rate of recruits that come on visits and commit and sign really, really high, higher than anywhere else I've been. So that's a really good sign. It's a compliment to our coaches, but also to the Cougar Nation and what we have here on campus.
And what's interesting about this group is they all feel super tall, super lean, super fast and whatnot. And then a lot of these guys are play first guys. You do have some mission first guys, but it feels like more of this group are going to be here in, say, January or in the summer than normal. Do you get that sense?
Yeah, I think, deciding on whether they're going to mission, I'm a return missionary, so we're always going to push that. And I think there's some that are going to play a year, then go, and there's quite a few that are going to go on missions right away. And so I think as you balance that out, the numbers can be a little bit higher. You balance out who goes early and who goes after a year, but also who also goes right after mid-year. So we have a kind of spread that out pretty evenly, and then the amount of mid-years too is really good for us, and they get to play spring ball. So we'll see how these guys compete, but overall, just really enjoyed getting to know all their families and just being involved with them. It's been a lot of fun to see them transition from their junior to senior years and now signing with us, and even some of the junior college transfers, seeing them, as they debate where they're going to go, and it's been a lot of fun, man. We like those battles, and I'm glad the coaches all felt great about it.
3 connections with Australia. Did anybody get to go Australia?
Yeah, we sent. Jay's been in Australia before, but we sent K-pop last year, and
nice.
And so probably I think there's a number of volunteers that want to go this spring. So I think they all want to go until they're getting on that flight, and they're like, man, the return flight's going to be long too. And I think you lose a day, gain a day, going one way or the other. So I don't know how that works, but we'll always check it out, and anywhere in the world we're trying to do that. It works for all the other sports on campus, and so we'd be foolish not to take advantage of it as well.
We volunteer as tribute. If you'd like us to go and help out there.
We need everyone to help us out everywhere. Yeah, that'll work.
BYU football head coach Kalani Sitake is with us here on BYU Sports Nation. It's signing day, and this is kind of a double-barreled question, Kalani. It's related, but
so remember the first one.
After going through year 1 of the Big 12, how did it impact the direction you wanted to go with recruiting to fill in positions that you were wanting to shore up the most? And what are those positions?
Yeah, I think it was, you kind of know what to expect for those that have been through it. Myself, A-Rod, Jay, we've been through that transition, but you don't know how to really explain it. And so once you go through it, now that we've been through it, it's a easy thing to explain. It's easy for our players to explain to the incoming freshmen and the incoming return missionaries. And when we ask them to gain 10 pounds and that will help us out, and you gain 4, I have a feeling they're going to gain 10 now, So this is unless you go through the fight, you don't feel it, and then you kind of you remind yourself with the physical part of it. This was great. It was a lot of stress for us as a team. Obviously, we'd love to finish the year better, but I think we made the necessary adjustments and changes to get us in a better position. We added depth quite a bit last year in the transfer portal. You don't have to do that as much this year, but we feel like there's a great established culture still going on in the team, and and the players are allowing it to thrive. And I think we'll be in a really good spot by the time we get to next year.
Notably at quarterback with the loss of Keaton Slovis and running back with Aiden Robbins, are those two positions you would like to go to the portal for replacements for, or where are you at in that process?
Well, I think we're always open for a lot of different things. I think it'd be foolish for us not to be. But the key is that they're a great fit, like Keaton was for us. You know, so looking at all the portal guys that came through, they're a great fit. I mean, like look at Eddie Heckert and and Camden and all those guys that came through. AJ Von Pachon. So they're great fits. Paul Miley, great fits for our program. Just like the recruits that are on that list, they were attracted to our school. Those that are not LDS were attracted to our school because of the honor code, because of academics. And those that are members of the church are attracted for the same reasons. So they're all here for the right reasons, and they happen to play great football. So as we develop them right, and then we get our schemes and focus on the fundamentals and the technique of everything, I think we'll be in a really good position.
There's a clear emphasis on adding depth up front on the defensive line specifically. We just went through a ton of defensive tackles and defensive ends. You're looking for edge rushers, no doubt about it. How do you feel about where you stand in that group as you go into year 2 of Big 12 play? Yeah,
we feel really good about it, especially with the signing class. We feel like there's a deep group, but also versatile, where you can have guys that can play D-end, but it can also move down and be a 3 technique or even a nose. And so there's a lot of flexibility there. Other places we've been, we've recruited a high number of D linemen, and some of them can transition to an outside backer. Some of them can transition to a true D-end and to a D tackle, and so and then some can also transition to an O-line. And so I think we have athletic guys that are thin and long, and depending on where they serve the missions, if they gain weight or how they look afterwards and how their body takes to the nutrition that we have, we can adjust and assign them to different positions. The key is they all can play ball, and right away they can all come in. Those that are starting with us as freshmen and junior college transfers can come in and provide some really good talent up front.
Fair to say that was the #1 position group of emphasis, the defensive front?
Yeah, we knew that there's, nothing against the guys. I think there's a couple things. Number one is you just don't say that we're just going to go get better talent. You still have the next year to work through the scheme. The scheme's still new. Once guys are bought into it and focus on the intricacies of the scheme, it'll all work out. But we have to keep loading it with talent, and that's up front and in the back. And you look at defensively in this class, we did just that. And so I'm really excited. If you think I'm excited, you should see Jay Hill right now. So he's fired
I see him on
up.
Twitter.
Yeah,
he's stoked.
Yeah, he's got a way better social media presence than I do. But everybody's telling me, hey, you have this many followers, you should do something. I'm like, as long as BYU's doing it, I don't have to really do it too much.
Hey, listen,
they do
I
a
see
great
Jay
job
with his backwards, sideways visor on and his sunglasses with the recruits. I'm all in, but I respect it.
Yeah, it's awesome. How quickly do you plan on making the O-line coach official? And then where are you in the tight end coach process?
Yeah, we're still working through the tight end candidates. There's quite a high number of them. So just, again, want to make sure it's a good fit, that they're able to make that position thrive and have it be such a huge advantage for us that we can count on that position. And so I think there's a lot of talent there. Just need to have the right guy, and sometimes that seeing how they click with the staff would be the key too. And we feel really good about our offensive line, so I'm not worried about that. And as we get through that and go through all the details, I think people kind of know who's going to be the guy. So we feel good about everything. Just in the next little bit, you'll see us adding to our list of recruits, and they'll start to trickle in between now and signing day in February. And probably a high number of those will be offensive players.
You're talking portal guys specifically?
Well, a little bit, a mixture of both. And then there's some that are still taking their time to make decisions. So I think you'll get some portal, get some high school, and maybe even some surprises. So we'll see what happens.
Look at you teasing us.
Let's go.
Nice.
That is
I'm just telling you the truth.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sitting here hoping and praying
Good for the viewers.
Yeah.
They're like, who is he talking about?
Keep praying for it, guys, and maybe we'll get some good answers.
Kalani Sitake is on BYU Sports Station. One more big picture question, then we'd like to talk about some big individual signees, and that is dealing with recruiting, your typical high school athlete compared to now using the portal. Where do you stand on how much of both that you want? Because yesterday we were discussing ratios, and you want a core, and I mean, Justin Anderson told us yesterday we typically want to build with core guys so that we get out of high school and then
plug with portal.
Support with the portal.
Yeah.
So what's the ratio look like there in a desirable range?
Yeah, I don't know if you can really assign it year to year. You know, say this is what we want to do every year. I think you have to look at it how the team is currently, and so I think with the portal and with NIL things that are happening, we weren't expecting to lose the leaders that we had a couple of years in the portal. You know, and I think that's been talked about quite a bit. So, but that's part of the game. You have to be able to adjust. I think if we run things the right way, we have the right culture, we'll be able to, even through some attrition, we'll be able to keep the foundation of our team in place, and the culture will be able to thrive as long as we keep adding to it, and not relying on the culture to change people, but having other young men come in, bring what they've learned from their families and their faith into the system, and then allow it to even grow even better. You know, so we have to protect the culture, have to protect the team. And this is a good group of young men that want to be here for the right reasons, and because of that, I think we'll be able to thrive. And I think there's a lot of schools out there that are doing it differently. You know, we are definitely unique in the way that we recruit, and I think a lot of people are at first they're maybe don't understand it, but a lot of people are drawn into it because it's so different that we're not talking about NIL money right away. We're talking about experiences and people, and as we do that, I think we'll be able to highlight what makes BYU special. And then, you know, once they get around the fans and get on campus, they see that it's something that you know, it's priceless. And so, how do you put a price tag on people and experiences?
Well said. That's BYU football in a nutshell right there. That's great. Okay, let's talk about some of these signees, maybe a couple lines on each. Okay, so Noah Lugo, 3-star quarterback from Hazlet, Texas, who's going to be play first kid.
Yeah, and a dynamic track athlete. I think he's one of the premier 300 hurdlers in, is that how you say it, in the
Sure.
country. So, but he can run and he can throw. Great leadership. I love having him around. He fits the room. I think he'll add to it, but I think they'll have a great dynamic as far as the guys interacting with each other. You know, I think A-Rod does a great job with that room, but that's a huge compliment to the people in the room. So I think he's going to be really good for us, and he's a big-time playmaker. He can definitely run and throw. Member
of another faith who wants to be here.
Yes, awesome. Exactly.
Enoch Watson is another quarterback that I know you're excited about. This coached by Ty Detmer and Max Hall. Let's look at the tight end Reiner Swanson, a 4-star guy from Laguna Beach, California. What excites you most about Reiner Swanson's skill set?
Yeah, big-time playmaker, national recruit. Everybody wanted him, and just really, really appreciative that we were able to connect with him and his family, and they saw through all the recruiting stuff and all the promises and everything. They're the ones that controlled recruiting the right way, and I'm really honored that we were able to sign him, because he's exactly what that's what you want from a young man, and how to handle the national recruiting scene. He was very transparent with everybody, and I think a lot of people came after him in a lot of different angles, and he and his family stuck to it, and they know what they want, and I'm glad that I get to be a part of it.
He's got the old school RUC in red on those highlights too, which is a nice touch.
Let's go.
Let's ask you about Tay Nakua. You cannot just assume that you will get a legacy kid. That assumption is false. You have to actually go get that guy. But it's cool that the 4th brother is going to play at BYU.
Yeah, well, I'm 5th. So we're forgetting Isaiah. So when you go Kai, Isaiah Sampson, Puka, and then now Tay. So we're getting him in there. Yeah.
Beautiful.
And so I think, but the first one that I've been able to recruit, like, you know, and bring him
out of high school.
First time.
Yes,
yeah. So
Tay. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm just really happy that Tay's here. Man, this guy is he's all the brothers, their best features in one person.
Ooh.
And so I'm really excited. You could see a lot of, because he plays receiver, you can see a lot of the Puka and the Samson in him, but you can also see the toughness that Kai and Isaiah bring. So this guy is a big-time playmaker. We're so excited to have him be a part of our team. Love having his family around. His mother, Panina's awesome. And so we're really excited about this one. And I know Fessie's excited about it too. And didn't really have to recruit much from the receivers room because we returned so many of them.
Yeah.
All right, a couple of names I want to hit as we close out on the defensive side, beginning with Danny Saili, who BYU fans are very excited about. A guy who flipped his commitment from Texas Tech last minute. We heard that the visit with the family, his parents, it was remarkable on campus. So what happened there, and how did he tell you, I'm all in on BYU?
Well, I have to give a lot of credit to Jay, but also to Sione Poha in that recruiting. And then defensively, everyone just teamed up on him and try to put up as much recruiting in a small window. And he was committed to Texas Tech, and we knew that, but a member of the church. And I think sometimes, I mean, we can only sign so many guys, but you mentioned it, we're not perfect in recruiting. We'd like to be, but some guys slip through the cracks, man. And whether they're legacy kids or members of the church, we want to make sure that we don't take them for granted and that we just assume recruiting. And there's one of those moments where it was just a check-in and say, hey, you know, maybe let's give it a thought. And once we got a little opening, it was pretty easy to get the family here and have them make that decision. But I appreciate the Saili family trusting us. They had what a wonderful family, and it's like, man, they should be here. It makes a lot of sense. And when you meet them and you talk to them, all of it makes sense. So we're really excited to have him.
355 pounds.
Can't wait to meet him.
He's ready to roll.
Yeah, he brings a lot, man. So we need that. We need the presence up front and on both sides, and I think he brings the beef for us.
Last one, just a brief comment on is Ephraim Asiata.
Yeah.
And everything he's been through to get him
What
to
a kid.
BYU, a remarkable story.
Yeah, nicknamed Fat Boy. So I mean, that's when you're looking at him and the things that he had to overcome.
Yeah.
I'm just really impressed with his family. I think, you know, his dad Matt played for us at Utah, and you know, his mother Tangi is awesome. Has brothers that are Division I athletes too. So he's got athleticism on both sides, great genetics. But I think when you look at his athleticism and things that he can do, specifically getting to the quarterback, it's a natural move for him. And we need that. But I like the teammate that he is, being able to overcome all that he's done, he doesn't take the game for granted. So, you know, we're excited to have him here, and we're excited to see him grow and learn and understand the game. But his football IQ is really, really good. So I think sometimes we were so just sitting there intrigued with his athleticism, but you know, realize that this guy he's born to play football, man. He's really smart. That's a huge compliment to his parents.
Can't wait to see Ephraim and Matt and the fam in blue.
go.
Oh yeah, they look great in blue.
That'll be awesome. Yeah, that'll be awesome.
Kalani, great to have you with us. Good luck answering the approximately 721 additional questions you'll be asked after this interview.
Oh, it's gonna
And
be a
that's
lot of fun.
just Spencer off camera.
I'm gonna push it off to Jay and to to A-Rod. They can handle a lot of those.
It's a veteran move.
Yeah,
veteran coach move.
I'm learning a few things in my old age.
What, 8th year now? Let's go, man.
Yeah, it's been that long. Huh?
Yeah, wild.
Absolutely. Thanks, Kalani.
Thanks, Kalani.